Pascoe Vale.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And I rise to support the Corrections Amendment Bill of 2026. And this is a bill, of course, that will provide for two things, essentially. One is to amend the right around people and those in custody to be in open air under the Corrections Act of 1986 in response to those legal issues that have gone through the Supreme Court, as we've heard. And number two, through the amendment that's been moved by the Minister as well, strengthen and rectify those legal safeguards around community corrections orders and the new role of advanced practitioners in response to what was an administrative oversight. And I'd like to begin by acknowledging, of course, all of the Justice Ministers, the Minister for Corrections, the Minister for Police, and others for bringing this bill to the chamber, but also particularly acknowledge the work of everyone across Corrections Victoria who keep all of us and work to keep us safe every single day through our justice, custodial and prison system as well. Corrections Victoria, of course, has a vision that is for safer prisons, safer people and safer communities. Their mission is to create a safer, smarter system with a skilled and supported workforce that enables people in their care to make better decisions. And Corrections Victoria is home and responsible for over 3,000 staff and operates Victoria's adult prison and post-sentence system as well. And it runs, I believe it's around 15 correctional facilities across Victoria. As of June 2025, Victoria's prison system had 6,500 adults in custody, 95% of them male, 5% female, 40% of which on remand and 60% sentenced. And of course, as a result of our stronger bail and tougher laws around serious and violent crime, we're continuing to see more people on remand, sentenced or in custody. Bail refusals are at record highs, 70% increase, that's 10,000 more people or alleged offenders are remanded. 84% increase we've experienced in bail revocations, and children's court bail refusals are up by more than a third. And as a result of these changes, we've also been investing to strengthen our justice system and corrections system to accommodate this increase in people in custody. $727 million in 25-26 state budget to ramp up our custodial capacity, recruiting 700 new or more corrections staff as well. The new Western Plains Correctional Facility. The recent budget in 26-27 invested overall $2.6 billion, including $229 billion for further capacity increases, $43 million for programs to reduce reoffending and support rehabilitation within those settings. But of course, along with these investments, there's more we must continue to do in terms of legislation and reform to keep our corrections staff safe, to ensure people on remand or in custody are held in accordance with the laws and expectations of the state and in safe and fair conditions, and to ensure overall that our community is safe as well. In respect to updating legislation around open air, the current legal issue arose, of course, after the Supreme Court found that the rear and open air courtyards attached to some high security and management unit cells did not meet the legal meaning of being in open air. That decision created legal uncertainty and exposed the gap between the wording of the law and the way staff have safely operated high security units. Fresh air, of course, matters, exercise matters, contact with daylight and the outside environment, supporting physical and mental wellbeing matters. And corrections workers must also protect staff, prisoners and the broader public as well. And they cannot ignore escape risks, threats, gang conflict, self-harm, contraband or violence without the appropriate legal settings themselves. The law must recognise all of those realities at the same time and protecting all within those custodial sentences. And this bill will amend the right for people in prisons to be in open air under the Corrections Act of 1986. Section 47(1)(a) of the Act provides that every person in prison who is not ordinarily engaged in outdoor work has the right to spend at least 1 hour each day in the open air, weather permitting. The bill provides that in addition to any weather considerations, the right to be in open air may be limited where it is not reasonably practicable to provide the entitlement, having regard to operational considerations. The amendments in the bill respond to the Supreme Court's judgment, and at the time of this bill, of consideration of this bill in Parliament, that decision, I note as well, as the member for Albert Park did, is subject to an appeal being brought on behalf of the state. This bill addresses the legal, financial and operational risks arising from that Supreme Court case and ensures that Corrections Victoria can continue to manage access to open air safely alongside operational considerations critical to the safe, secure and effective functioning of prisons. And the bill, as I say, amends that Section 47 of the Corrections Act to provide that in addition to weather consideration, the right to be in open air may be limited where it is not reasonably practical to provide that full entitlement having regard to operational considerations, and in broad terms includes the management, good order or security of the prison, the right, safe custody or welfare of the prisoner, the right, safe custody or welfare of any other prisoner in the prison too. The bill takes two clear actions, as I said, with respect to those changes. And allows also decision makers in the prison to consider management, good order and security of the prison, the right, safe custody and welfare of the prisoner too. But these factors really do matter because moving one high-risk prisoner through a communal area may require several officers, expose another prisoner to attack, interrupt access for an entire unit or create an escape or contraband risk. And one rigid rule can produce an unsafe and unfair result for everyone. And I recently actually had the pleasure to visit, in the lead up to this bill coming before the Parliament, the Metropolitan Remand Centre, to see this very complexity of this case firsthand. I want to thank Vicky Ryan, the General Manager, Fiona Murphy, the Assistant Commissioner, and Rebecca Allen, Operations Manager, for their really detailed and thorough tour of the whole MRC, or a lot of the MRC precinct. They explained the pressures staff manage and showed me how the centre combines security, healthcare and rehabilitation. And I want to place on the record my deep thanks to corrections workers again across Victoria, prison officers, community corrections staff, clinicians, educators, case managers, program staff, health workers, administrative staff, intelligence teams and everyone who does keep our prisons secure and communities safe. Most Victorians will never ever see the work they do or the inside of a prison, but the work they do behind those walls and those secure doors does matter and is very, very important. And they manage sometimes very difficult and dangerous circumstances. They support victims by enforcing court orders, they protect the public and so much more as well. And I had the opportunity to visit the very cell block, the high security cell block, which these reforms go to the heart of. And it's basically walking in, you have a very confined arrangement there with a bed, with a TV that's behind a closed, safe plastic or glass type cabinet. You have obviously the amenities there, but then stepping out you do have a secure courtyard which does have a mesh roof over the top of it, which does technically provide for that daylight, that wind and that open air environment for that person in custody to experience on certain times of the day. But obviously the court has ruled that more needs to be done to provide further at the backyard, which also adjoins that back confined courtyard as well. As part of the tour, I had the pleasure to actually visit other parts of the MRC precinct as well. And I just want to say the amazing work that happens behind those doors, again, will not be seen by many Victorians, but even seeing the woodworking facilities that are there, the technical facilities that are provided to many of the prisoners to actually not only help their rehabilitation process, but actually help learn new skills or refine or maintain their pre-existing skills before having gone in, so they can come out at the other end of their sentence with something back to contribute and offer and get their life back on track once they're released as well. So, but it's also around the social interventions within the prison as well, parenting programs to help parents reconnect with their children post-sentencing as well. There is a lot of work going on behind the scenes that I just want to acknowledge and commend as well. But as the member for Pascoe Vale, I of course also represent a community that carries a lot of Victoria's correction history as well, having been home to the former Pentridge prison as well. It's now a very entertaining hospitality venue, but once upon a time, obviously from 1850, from where it first opened as a stockade right up until its closure in 1997, was basically the final arm of Victoria's criminal justice system as well. But Pentridge also housed the Panopticon blocks, which is very relevant to this bill, and it isolated people in custody for 23 hours a day in a dark, cramped and damp cells. And the 1870 Royal Commission heard that these conditions caused profound mental illness, and Victoria eventually dismantled them, and there's still the foundations of at least one of them at Pentridge that you can go and visit as part of a tour. and have a coffee and go up to Palace Cinemas and watch a movie as well, if you like, Speaker, as part of that National Trust tour as well. But also Pentridge, of course, was home infamously to H Division and JICA, some of the most notorious prison and custodial centres in this country's history as well, through which we've obviously gathered a lot of learnings around custodial sentences to apply to a modern contemporary setting where prisoners are held in accordance with the expectation of the community, but also provided that humane facility and also safe arrangements for staff as well. I commend this bill to the chamber.
Member for Mornington.
Thank you, Deputy